Right. So what some people hate more than anything is being wrong. Um, Again, like, check this out. Not related in any way. It's like, cool, I have an infected foot, and I don't know if these fucking pants that someone gave me is intentionally designed to, like, make them worse. Um, American Eagle Outfitters. Fuck, I don't know. Oh, it's 90% polyester. And then polyester probably has something to do with it, making someone sick. I don't know. So, someone just went past and said, "Oh, what's your bed number, boss?" And then, as I'm eating an apple, and he says, "Oh, thank you." Cool. So I just talked about, like, and posted on YouTube about, like, how you can do something stupid and crazy and stalk someone, and then someone else acted dumb. Like, it's a carbon copy, and that's the joke. And then once you find out what the joke is based on what you do and then what someone else does, then someone else will say, "Oh, okay, that's the next step," and then they'll say, "Okay." So there evidently was a payoff to me to then have someone copy what he does, and then since he won't tell me what his bed number is, then I'm going to find out someone else's bed number and then have everyone that is around him copy what someone else does. Because he mentioned it, and because he mentioned it, there's some sort of payoff. They'll also do this stupid shit where they'll say thank you, and then and then they'll fuck you over in some way. And this is just the gaslighting. It's gaslighting by people who know other languages other than English, because they think they're cool. And then they'll fuck with the one guy who's he speaks English. And then you could do the dumb fuck shit where it's like Ghostbusters, we speak bad English too. Okay. So, yeah, I mentioned there's a carbon programming language, and it's carbon copy, and they timed it so that they'd have the cargo pass at the same time I farted. So now the next thing is that they're gonna have someone do something stupid, because some guy, after I walk around I'm gonna call it a compound. Anytime anyone calls something a compound, it means that it's bad. I know that that's a canard. Maybe that's part of this joke. But yeah, this is like a compound. It's not a shelter. It's like a fucking hellhole. So anyway, this guy goes past and says, "What's your number, boss?" And then I'm eating an apple and he just walks away. "What's your number, boss?" "Thank you." Cool. So now if anything bad happens to me that's a copy of that. And another thing is if you say something, there's two ways to deal with this, right? There's saying something where it's post hoc of being abused, and then a priori, right? A priori is from past experience, when people call you a boss and then say thank you in a stupid way, you know that you're going to be abused, but mentioning it beforehand means you're against freedom, right? And so that's no, we can't use inductive reasoning on the past experience at all. And deductive experience is oh, I was abused, and then all of these precursors of what happened before that are not necessarily completely related, but somebody gave me bread, and then they could time when I would fart, and then they'd have a car drive by, backfiring. It's cool. So that's cool. It's one of these things where it's we're going to abuse you if you use inductive or deductive reasoning to mention how you're being abused. And then we're only going to allow you to use abductive reasoning, because that's what a robot uses for an LLM. And so we're going to treat you like a robot as a joke, based on pornography. Or anything you happen to like. It's okay, well, cool. I'm now going to mention it as the shelter at 555 Beale Street, and mention that everyone here is a prick. Maybe you can do some induction on that shit. right? like, like, okay, we're gonna mind fuck you so that you have the same mentality as a robot, and then like about how you're gonna be abused later. And this is from shelter staff members after I eat an apple. Like, because it's like, well, I have less than $10 a day in food stamps. I have that. The General Assistance Office sent me letters in the mail covered in fentanyl. The General Assistance Office is also corrupt, so that like people will take out cards, ask to be called like Mr. Peter or Dr. Google or some